Record. Alright, and 6.
It is all kind of connected.
Use some big words.
I be trying.
Play on play.
I don't know. I feel like this episode I could see easily some little sound bites being taken and we go viral and everybody hates us because we said something against gay folks.
Self-conscious person, or no, not self-conscious person. Someone, a greedy person would say, well, at least we went viral. Like,
oh, that's not.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
They're gonna be like, see, this bitch, she act like she really likes the trans folks. She got on her Instagram, Trans Lives Matter, but then she over here talking about trans lives and how they don't matter. Like it's. Oh.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
It's a touchy subject.
I don't want to be famous.
Because, I'm all for people doing whatever the fuck they want to do, but at the same time, it's a lot of things I really don't. Yeah, it's for like 20. Yeah, it's a lot of things I really don't understand.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't understand it all, but I feel like as a Christian, I'm just here to love.
Exactly.
I'm here to just show love, and
exactly. That's what
I
it's
may
all
not
about.
get it, understand what you're feeling or going through.
That's what I'm gonna start off with.
AMRB's what we got. Yeah, time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Pins on the jacket, the man's abundant. The point of the road was banned and rugged. Hushing, I'm applying no pants in London. The products are not being scared of some judgment. Gotta stay in the cut. Cut you off if you ain't making the cut. Couldn't tell you who the hell is behind us. You start to forget when you stay in the front of it's up. And it's up for grabs. No remorse of who I'm taking it from.
Welcome, everyone. Patrons, gentlemen, women, people who don't want to be called neither. Welcome to Consequences of Our Culture podcast, where we discuss various topics and opinions we discuss topics, and it's our opinions, through the lens of some seasoned African Americans. And we film a lot of these like back to back, so you'll see me wearing the same shirt.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not dirty though.
Right.
I got other shirts. I got a closet full of clothes. I'm not in need.
Well, you kind of in need a little bit.
In need of what?
I don't know.
Oh, you joking. All right, so that escalated quickly. All right, so today's topic is sensitivity. Now, sensitivity in the form of what we're speaking of is when something's said and it offends, another person or a group of people. And lately, a lot of people feel like the world has gotten a lot more sensitive. And honestly, I feel that way too. Especially coming from, I was raised in the 90s and the 2000s, but in the 90s, a lot of things was pretty much free game, Like, I've had people, grown women that, I didn't even know come up and, they'll come up and correct you. They'll let you know. They'll let you know you're out of line and out of place. But nowadays, that's kind of be looked at, frowned upon. But, I am from a small village called Montgomery, Alabama. But, I feel like you had a lot to talk about. I don't want to take this from you, so go ahead.
No, you're fine. I just was gonna agree. Like, I feel like in this country there is no like gray area or middle ground. We always have to choose either left or right, you know, up, down. There's nowhere in between there, you know. So like when we jump on something, we go all the way. Like we take it too far. Everything we do. So when in the beginning it was like, okay, yeah, you shouldn't say certain things like you know, like in the workplace, you know, maybe not your female coworker. It's not okay to say, yo, your ass look good in them pants today, you know, like you,
Damn.
you know, stuff like that, you know, maybe not say that, but
Let's drop that shit.
but it also,
Damn.
yeah, we just get right
People
into
doing
it.
that?
I mean, that's what I hear. I'm just as an
Damn.
example, you know, that like, you know, if they say, hey, hey, Bivens, you know, you filling out that uniform today, you know, stuff like that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like that was your unit?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But, or, you know, you can't say, like, it's like, you know, you can't say stuff like that, right? And that's the kind of things that we were talking about when we said, when, you know, the Me Too movement came around and, you know, we're like, look, you need to watch how you talk to women, watch how you talk to each other in the workplace and just in general, right? And it just became this way bigger thing where now people feel like, you know, any little thing, if you compliment someone and say like, hey, you look really nice in that shirt. I really like that shirt on you.
All right.
That could be misconstrued now. And at least so I've heard. I've never seen that happen. But, you know, it's like something that, you know, could be as small as that now is like the equivalent of, you know, that's harassment. And I feel like we just, anytime we jump on something, it goes too far. We can never just like, it's like you got to get rid of all the bad stuff, but then you know, at the same time, it's like we throw the baby out with the bathwater, basically.
The baby out with the
and yeah, and it's really annoying, honestly. Like it feels like you can't speak, you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to say everything correctly, and just, you know,
Definitely coming from our culture, being African Americans from the South. You know, it was pretty loose and wild. Like you were,
right.
you know, really honest with everyone. Like nowadays it is harder. Like sometimes I don't know how to refer to people. Like I'm used to saying, being from the South, I'm used to saying, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Yeah. But, you know, nowadays, like, you know, where I live now in Colorado is very, like, progressive. So nowadays that might not be taken the same. You know, a lot of people, and I feel like this is a little unfair to get upset off the bat that, you know, you guessed my gender. You know, I apologize for guessing your gender, but at the same time, it was the social norm for the past, you know, however many years, and, you know, that was the way I was raised. Like, you know, moving forward, you know, of course, I'll, like, you know, make efforts to, like, call you whatever you want to be, but, you know, but if I'm being honest, some of these, like, what people want to be called is getting out of hand. Like anything outside of like he, she, or they, like anything outside of that, it's like pretty confusing to me. Like some people want to be like some people, I don't know, it feels like some people are coming up with like phrases and words for them to be called.
Yeah,
and it's pretty confusing.
I've heard of those.
For me, you know, let's be real, I'm a simple black man from Alabama. This is about as plain and basic as I could be. Like that's a lot for me to remember. Like the girl, like I told you, the girl I met in Walmart the other day, she wanted to be like called we. And you know, with all these gender things, you know, I thought that was normal. No.
I've never heard that.
She was fucking crazy.
Like literally said
and I
we?
didn't like, she was like literally mentally like insane, and she really thought she was multiple people, but
oh man, yeah, it's like Yeah, it's like all the
Very
changes.
unfortunate.
That's funny. I just caught that.
It was like
with all the
three people.
changes,
She
it
had like
started
three
to,
different names. But anyway.
You're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, sure.
Right.
That's the new thing, right? So, but I understand how like people they feel a certain way or like they want to be, and that's totally fine. If you be your truth, you be whoever you want to be. But just, forgive me if I come off as if I seem like I don't care, because I do care. I'm just confused and simple and basic and from Alabama.
Yeah.
I apologize.
And I feel like, sorry, you gonna?
I was done.
Well, I was gonna say, and I feel like that's where what we need to come back is like just grace and patience, because I mean, I don't mind, like you said, I don't mind using people's pronouns, whatever it is they want to be called. I really don't care. To me, it does not affect my life at all. It does not change anything for me if what I'm looking at that I perceive as male, but you want to be, referred to as female, as she, her. If those are your pronouns, but I don't care. I really don't. I think a lot of folks are getting hung up on the wrong stuff. Like, if folks need new bathrooms, we give them new bathrooms. If they want to use new pronouns, give them new pronouns. I don't really care about that aspect, but I think, like you said, as far as like having that patience with people and compassion, and just like realizing that not everybody has been exposed to the same things.
Right.
Not everybody knows everything that's going on, especially with the LGBTQ community. I'm not saying that we deserve that necessarily we deserve to have patience. I get it. They've been through a lot. They've had to literally fight for their lives. And so at this point, they're probably like, we're tired of waiting on y'all to get it. But at the same time, I feel like when there's no, you have to look at the intent behind it. And that person was not intentionally trying to hurt you by using the wrong pronouns, Thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I've had friends where they just correct me in like this, in the simplest, nicest way. Like, where it's just, we're just talking, and I was like, she said such and such, and my friend would just quickly and like just with a straight face, they. I was like, oh yeah, they said blah blah blah, and we just kept it moving, because they understood that I was trying to, get like to an understanding, and that was something that was new for me, and that it wasn't going to happen overnight. That I was going to stumble, was going to mess up, and I think we just don't have that on either side, that patience with each other and compassion, and it's just. I don't understand that. I feel like it just makes things more complicated. Like,
definitely.
Life is hard enough.
If there's a big,
I can make life easier, a little easier for you by using your pronouns, cool. If you can make life a little bit easier for me for being patient while I learn your new pronouns, let's just. I don't know.
Yeah, with every like drastic change, there needs to be patience. You gotta. Give it time for the process. It's new for a lot of people, and slower people like me and all the people who talk with a deep Southern accents. It might take a little while longer, but a lot of us are trying, and we definitely support you. So there's like phrases now that are getting like. They were social norms. I wouldn't say norms, but they were kind of social norms back in the day.
It's just
and
like
now
slang
it's
terms.
Yeah, slang terms.
Everybody said.
And now they're like, they're cutting it out, like saying spaz or and stuff like that. And for me, I didn't. So when people. I got it, actually. Like, I get it. Like, so spaz and a seizure, I had never connected it that way,
Never
And
realized
I was like, oh, wow. Like, people have been saying that a lot. Yeah. Like, for a long time. Like, since the, 2000s when people were, crunk dancing and stuff like that. And, one... that was getting cut out while we were growing up was, when people would say, I don't know if I feel comfortable saying retard.
Yes,
Yeah, they were
that
like,
was the one.
man, like I'm telling you, old
Before
people
this
used to just
movement,
throw that
was
out.
like
like
that
they'd be
was
like, hey, the
my mom would say
acting
it,
boy, and I'd be like, whoa,
and I'd be like, you can't say that, you can't say
you
that.
can't say that. You say handicap, or
Right.
something like that. Yeah, that's what they were.
But it was usually used in like in a negative way too.
Right, they
You
did.
know? So
Yeah, that.
it's like I just feel like I rarely, now that I think about it, rarely heard it said as like a actual way to describe someone who had some type of handicap. It was like
Right.
a negative way to just, that you
Yeah.
called somebody that you felt like was being dumb or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that was the
Isn't
first one that before
Dumb another
before we
one though?
got to,
Like, doesn't dumb mean?
no, I think we can still say dumb.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
What does dumb mean though?
But dumb, I think, does actually mean like you can't speak or something.
Okay, yeah, because they'd be like, you deaf, dumb, stupid. Yeah,
Yes.
remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't.
deaf,
Yeah.
dumb, stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
So I
okay.
mean, yeah, that's just it's a lot. It is a lot,
It's a lot,
and
man. It's like we
know.
have been, honestly, like, it's the way we were raised was very in an insensitive way. Like,
yeah,
we were raised in a good generation. Like we're some tough ass people. Cause like, so we were raised like on the cusp of the technology movement, but
Yes.
also in like the, go drink this hose water, out
Stay
the
out,
backyard,
all day
like
until
stay
the
out.
street
So
lights come
we
on,
had
like-
we got to experience
Yeah.
like both of those things, but like socially, like you just let it fly. Like you just
Yeah.
like, hey, people would say. They still do, like, my bitches. Like, they just, like, went, like, a lot of times people would say women were bitches and, dudes were, okay, I'll say it. Niggers.
nah, you not with the hard ER on it.
Yeah, not with the
They were
hard
niggas,
ER.
that's
Yeah,
what it was.
niggas. But,
We can say it, nigga,
We
nigga,
can
nigga, nigga, nigga.
but I didn't know if I was going to do that on this podcast, honestly. But, I didn't know if you want your people watching. But anyway,
No, hopefully
Yeah.
they won't watch it. Okay.
But anyway,
Sorry,
yeah,
Mommy.
like the way we were just letting it fly. Like you would call people the R word, and like you would call people like all types of things. But it was like it didn't offend anyone, and well, it probably did.
Well, it did,
but
but people just didn't. They just
right.
took it. And it was
They
like,
just took it. It's like,
okay, that's just something.
Yeah.
Like little people, like you can't say.
right.
I don't even
The
want to
M,
say it. I
the
can't even
M word.
say it.
Damn, you would say nigga, but you
know,
won't say the M word.
no.
That's fucked. Well,
I'll
it's
say
whatever.
It. Okay, I'm gonna say
But,
it real quick. Midget.
Yeah,
That one.
Yeah, but now
You can't
that
say
like,
that. Like
little people.
yes, it's little people,
Big
and
world.
that's another one. That one and retard are like the two that I feel like were the first that I was introduced with, where it was like where we were deciding collectively, you cannot say this anymore.
The F word. When like
Yes.
when they
I'm
weren't
not saying that one.
when they
That-
weren't like really accepted, like back in the 90s they say something wrong with that boy,
Right,
something
yep.
like that, that boy a little sweet,
Right, yes.
stuff like that. Got a little sugar in his thing,
Right.
yeah. They do all that, but
I mean,
you know that boy,
one,
you know that boy,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, the F word, that one, I'm glad that one went. That was one of the first ones
Yeah,
too.
yo,
Right up in there where it was like before it became this like big thing, we were like, you know what, while we're at it, let's just bring out the list of all the things, And but I think it's getting to the point now that it's like it's just too much. It's like, when are we going to be where y'all are just going to have to understand that people are going to say things that you don't like? Like, it's just, it's like we can't seem to just have, I don't know. Like, it's like we can't have one extreme without the other, apparently.
Yeah.
And I don't really know where we go from here with that. Like, I feel like now it's just affected the culture in a way No pun intended, but it has really affected the culture. And
You said it hasn't really?
Has really. It's affected the culture in such, I feel like in a negative way, that we are now like, you know, we're raising the next generation to be offended by every little thing and feel entitled to having their voice heard. And it's more than that. It's like, you just feel like, you know what, like, I decided today that I don't like the color purple, and nobody can wear color purple ever again because it offends me. I hate that color. And
you want everyone else to conform to you when it's
And it's like, you know, some of it was good because back in the day, you know, the fact that we had you know, like Britney Spears on the front of Rolling Stone when she was 14 or something, like half naked on a magazine when she was underage. I know that much. She was not 18 yet.
That's crazy.
Is just a little crazy. You know, the fact that we have where it was just a thing that men would marry really young girls, or, you know, and they would groom them, you know.
That is
and the women, and there's women that do it too in Hollywood especially. It's not talked about as much, but there's a lot of older women that have dated and married like young boys as well. So, you know, it's just, so I'm happy that we are moving in a direction where we are calling these things out and saying, look, it is not okay. You know, like the thing with Cosby. Just because everybody was putting stuff in people's drinks back in that day, in the day, doesn't mean that it was right.
That was right, yeah. You know, we can't just like sit up here and say, oh, it's cool to like, you know,
like
slip into a Mickey. That's just not fucking cool.
Did.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, but it's like, no, like to me, we all know we know the difference between wrong and right. And there are some things that are just common sense. You don't put something that's in somebody's drink without them knowing.
Right.
That's just like fucking basic, you know, common sense, you know. But at the same, but then there's, you know, it's like we have that, and then we have the other extreme of you can't say certain things, or you know, or you have to make sure you know, whatever. It's just, it's becoming too much and makes people feel like they cannot.
Yeah, you know,
do anything, and we don't have like, it takes away also like what is it, like people, I feel like they don't forgive. Like, it's like when people mess up now, it's like there's no like retribution, you know. I'm not saying mess up like R. Kelly, like that. Sorry, he can't. For me, you ain't coming back. I hope you get your help that you need and all of that. But nah, bro, you need to stay over there, you know. But like, but you know, when people mess up, like I think we need to like normalize that people are gonna mess. They're gonna say things that are inappropriate, or, you know, or whatever, and we don't hold them, you know, to that standard.
Yeah, because it's getting complicated. Yeah, like you almost need a handbook to be in like the 2020s, you know. And that handbook would be thick as hell. Like, let's say a person like got in a time machine from the 90s and jumped to the 2020s, right? Yeah. Dude, he'd be in a world of trouble. Like, he'd be lost and confused, the poor thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, you have to give him, like, this is a phone, and it's like, you can't say these words, and it's like, those are all the words to say. Like, they be, like, confused and stuff. But, no, most definitely. And, yeah, but there are, like what you said, some things like Bill Cosby, unacceptable. You can't, like, you can't, you know, after that, you can't really look at a person and, like, respect them after that. No. And then, like, marrying people young. And I was like, you know, R. Kelly married Aaliyah young, like, when she was underage. Right. And I always thought that was weird, but it's like, just now, it's catching steam. It's like, you know, it's kind of like, that's nasty. Oh, he's got, you know, the troop of girls or whatever. But it's like, that shit's nasty. Right. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
On that, what is that one album she had, this, The Age Ain't Nothing But a Number? Or maybe that was a song. Sorry, y'all. But take my R&B card away from me. But there's an album where he's like lurking in the background. It was the album that has that Age Ain't Nothing But a Number.
It's got him in the background?
He's like literally in the background on the album. Like he's blurred out, just like creeping on the side.
Art imitates life.
Truly.
Creepy ass motherfucker.
So I mean, it's just, so I am happy that, and I will say, honestly, if I had to choose which two worlds to live in, I think I would still rather live in this world. I'd rather navigate trying not to say spaz and anything.
Versus
whatever
like
else.
the 90s
versus
or something?
the old. I mean, I love the 90s, but I'm saying versus the old 90s. Like way of like where it was just okay for people to say certain things or have certain actions. I'll take this all day. I think if we had to, picking my poison, I'd rather pick this one. For sure. Okay. But we just need to collectively come together and decide
come together.
What is not right and what is, and just like
we spend way too much time
I don't know,
fighting each other.
Yes.
Over like bullshit,
Yeah.
When there's bigger issues at hand. Like who cares if like blase accidentally like mispronounce your pronoun,
Right.
It's like, black people are still getting the shit beat out of them.
Exactly.
Let's look at the bigger
right.
picture.
Like, yep, I agree. And I think what needs to really be talked about instead of bathrooms and pronouns, while those are important, that's my dog Kane. But I think what we really should be talking about is the fact that trans people are dying at a really high rate. Like, just they get killed for just living, for existing.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah, that's why they had the Trans Lives Matter movement. So, I mean, I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough in the mainstream. And that's the focus, and especially the black trans folks, of course.
Yeah,
they be going through it. So it's like, I'm definitely respecting pronouns, but let's also refocus here, and that's where we need to, bring our focus back to.
And with that, we will take a short break, not a commercial break, because we don't have commercials or sponsors at the moment, but a personal break for me and Stephanie.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back. Welcome back. And we're here talking about sensitivity. It's evolved into a few things, but at the end of the day, me as a Christian man, I don't know what you believe in, but I'm here to love.
Right.
I love everyone. No ill will towards anyone. I don't have no ops. There's no one lurking in the shadows for me. Like, I could go places and I feel completely safe and comfortable. And, even if, a person smugs their face at me, doesn't affect me. I love myself. I still love them. I don't love them. They're okay. That's kind of like, they good. But you had something you wanted to
similar. Basically the same, that like, that while we may not as Christians understand what trans people go through, what the LGBTQ community goes through, the only thing that we have been called to do as Christians is to love others the same way that Christ loves them. Amen. And so there should be no speaking of like, we're not getting into the world's issues. Like I don't care. I have friends that are, of course I don't want to say, I have plenty of friends that are gay. So I'm, but.
I'm all about that shit.
Right.
Shit, my cousin gay. You see Johnny over there, gay as fuck.
For real, like, I have friends that, like, they were the ones that taught me a lot. Because like you said, coming from Alabama, like, being raised here, I've never been exposed to a lot of, like, LGBTQ people. So it's like, they taught me a lot, and I realized that I still don't understand everything.
No.
But that's not my place to understand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to love.
Amen.
That's it.
Preach it.
So, just wanted to put that out there.
Just want to throw that out there, you know? Like, I'm the same way. Like, it's a lot of things I just don't get. But, you know, it's none of my business, you know?
And also, I wanted to say, too, that, like, while we're saying that, like, you know, being understanding when somebody is not getting your pronouns right, but when someone is like intentionally not wanting to use someone's pronouns, and
when someone's being
just
malicious,
like straight up like, well, no, what I see on the outside is one thing, so that's what I'm going to call you, and that also really perpetuates that violence that they have to go through when you don't take it seriously, and you just, you know, and you don't, as something as simple as that, like you don't realize that you're actually perpetuating all of that. Like,
you're pushing it forward.
It's
just
like, because they need that acceptance.
Right, just
even
like
if you don't
raising
agree,
a teenager.
You have to
like when you go
accept.
against the grain, like they rebel harder. And so no, I totally get that.
Yeah, so I mean, anyway, what was it with the we were talking about with like the sensitivity, and there was something else I wanted to bring up.
I could point out that like people's sensitivity varies depending on who it is. Like if it's someone that, you know, we like or admire or something like that, and they do something wrong, we tend to stand by their side instead of like, you know, actually defending the cause. Like when Will slapped Chris Rock, that shit was completely out of line because, you know, I get like you're defending like black women, but you like screaming, keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth, like that's enough. Like that's, you know, you're defending her in that moment. You don't have to take a verbal altercation and turn it into a physical one, because the moment you turn it into a physical altercation, you committed a crime. You know, and like, you know, he didn't press charges, but like, you know, Chris Rock, you know, has been on the lighter side of things. I'm pretty sure he's had a fairly decent like life as far as financially and social statuses for the past like 30 years. Like, you know, he's probably not in that mode to like, you know, rumble in the jungle. But like, if you got a, you know, fresh guy like fresh out the street or something, like he don't give a fuck if, you know, you're stronger than him or what. He gonna beat your ass. He gonna try to beat your ass. He gonna do something. Like he don't give a fuck about this award show. He don't give a fuck about anything. Like a lot of people are so detached from like society and stuff like that. Like it doesn't, they forget how people really are. But like if this was a small country club, like a small country club award show full of black people, the country club's not the word to use, so small family reunion, and fucking Joe got mad and went up to Thomas and slapped the shit out of him, ain't no fucking way Thomas is gonna stand up on that stage and let Joe walk the fuck off. Thomas and Joe fighting, and they getting kicked out. They out the reunion. They embarrass grandma. Fuck all that shit. Go the fuck home. We don't want to see you till the next reunion. That type of shit. Then ain't no accepting award show later. Like that was like completely out of place. But a lot of people supported Will, and it's like, oh, blase, he defended his wife. Yes, you have to defend your wife, but verbally that was enough, you know, something like that. But to physically go up and slap another man, like we don't. Yo,
he didn't even punch him.
Like,
He could have.
It was Chris Rock,
like,
but like,
at least punched him.
What if it was someone bigger? Like, what if it was The Rock?
Him.
You know, The Rock, or like fucking like, you know, someone big. He would have handled Willie Will. You know, they would have spun him around like the intro and sent him back to Bel Air. It'd been terrible. You know.
But I mean, I will say, some folks are just. It ain't even. It's not to me that big a deal.
Right.
In the sense of, Like, there's some folks who feel like, I can't remember what celebrity said it or who, whatever, but they said that they were traumatized from this event, from him slapping him. And I feel like, I'm like, okay, there we go, back to the sensitivity.
Right.
I'm like, y'all doing too much now. It was just clearly a man who snapped. He is under some type of pressure, and I don't care what anybody says. Being a celebrity, those of us who are not celebrities do not know what it feels like to constantly have people who have some type of opinion about you. Everywhere you go, everything you do is scrutinized.
Your business is out there.
Yeah, your whole business is out there all the time. And you have to take the jokes. You have to take the comments all the time. And then because you're a celebrity, you're supposed to just not have emotions.
You're supposed to just smile.
And just smile and wave, you know? And I just feel like that is not, like, feasible. That's not something that, it's at some point, any sane person is going to snap. Anybody in that situation will eventually hear it enough, and you hear it enough, and you take it, and you take it. Day after day, there will be a moment that you snap. It happens. And so to me, that's all I saw was like, dang, like, I'm not saying it was right. He should definitely have not have, slapped him and everything. But I don't think he deserved it by any means, because I think the joke wasn't even that big. The joke wasn't even that bad. It was like, it wasn't that funny, and it just wasn't that bad.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't even seen G.I. Jane.
Yeah, to me, I thought it was like, hey,
a lot of people didn't even get it.
To me, it wasn't that big a deal, and then for, who was it? What's her name? Zoe Kravitz was one of the celebrities that was like saying. She kept mentioning it. She would say, like, she posted a photo and she'd say, she said, here's a photo of me at the Oscars where we're apparently punching people now. But also, ma'am, you're the one who was trying to talk to a young Jaden Smith, like, talking, like, about
she tried to talk to
like where she like talks about how like cute he was or something, but not in a nice, like, how older woman would talk about a little boy, like, and say, oh, how cute is that little boy. It wasn't nothing like that. It was, she wanted to get with Jaden, and she talked about it like
the animosity towards the family.
Definitely like predator, like stuff. So so I'm like, girl, bye. Like, this little this slap is not going to be the thing that just sends somebody over the edge, and everybody, like, it was, to me, just not that big a deal. It was something that shouldn't have happened, but to me, it was clearly I saw a man that had just snapped.
Yeah.
That was it. Like, he
built
just
so
snapped.
much trauma.
He had
just
a moment. His speech alone, after when he got up there and spoke, you could tell he was not stable. Something was off. And
this man was like going through so much, built up traumas and emotions.
His wife out there on that red table constantly talking about him.
He would have still got his ass whooped. I
would not have.
He's like, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I'm about to beat your ass.
If it became a whole brawl, I would understand. I would have completely understood if Chris retaliated. I'm glad he didn't. I think it was in his best interest not to.
Yeah, I don't think he was
with
scared.
With all the white folks there.
But yeah, I would have said fuck all that shit. But I don't think he was like scared. I think he just
I think he was confused.
Yeah, I think it was more confused than anything. Yeah, he looked confused. Like he rung the bells. Like he was.
Right. It's just like.
But back to
what happened?
I forgot, I got off topic, but like, so sensitivity, like, so
that
it was like we see he's likable, but blase, like a lot of it's like drill music, like you got people killing people, right? And like people who supposedly have killed other people, they're the popular artists, right? And when they get murdered or killed, it's kind of like, rest in peace, blase, blase. What about all the people they killed? I mean, it's kind of like, I'm not, RIP to everyone, who's died, but it was kind of like, I mean, I'm not going around killing people, but like, if I killed someone's brother and like they came after me and killed me, it's like, can I really, like, can my people really be like, feel bad for me? It's kind of like, yeah, nigga, you kind of brought it on your own self. But but RIP to everyone, though. It's really a messed up situation. It's honestly a part of the social construct of that area. You know, a lot of these, you know, lower income areas, you know, and they're, you know, it's not good for anyone, honestly. RIP to everyone involved. But yeah. You got anything else on sensitivity?
Nah.
All right, we will stop beating this dead horse. And we will see you guys next week. We have follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, Facebook. All streaming platforms. You know, we got Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast.
Yeah.
But please, you know, watch the YouTube too and subscribe, because I hear that's where the real money is. And yeah, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Because I feel like I do need to clarify that pronouns is also people not respecting the pronouns and not believing that they are actually real people is also why they're dying. So it isn't kind of important. Yeah, but like people not really, you know how there's certain things in society that get you kind of what's the word? You I can't think of what the actual term, but basically like if it's all
product flying out the shelf, what's in store for us? Known to hit a hole in one, look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whatever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down, sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground, setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jazz. Shout out to Steve, the boy getting love from the harsh critics. Strauss hit me bi-weekly to tell me keep taking it further. You aren't finished and I gotta listen. Ain't he son of believing and see that I'm actually breathing and doing it real time. Though the pulling idea out thin there, act on it and profit in real life. If we not aligned, don't present me a dotted line. Yeah, I'm the QB, but I ain't handing on nothing for someone to monetize. And it goes to the birds too, can't give it a time if a dollar so cut eyes. They get X'd out for they had the potential to be my ex. I know all the plays, I'm a seasoned vet. Yeah. Always showing up, known to hit a hole in one. Look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whoever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down, sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground, setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Time's close, I whittled them down, sticking to them by sticking around. The gang all out, Iwo Jima got one flag. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking third time she getting the short end of the stick. A common law marriage, like, you know how like other dudes like are so like, nah, I don't think it's the time. I think we should wait. I was always that, you know, that optimistic guy. It's kind of like, you know what? We've been sleeping together for 8 months. I think I could do this the rest of my life. Yeah, let's go. You know? And same thing with like the second one. It's like, I love her. Simple enough. You know, let's give her. But third one, I feel so bad for her. I might be like, let's push this common law thing for us. And it's like, what's the rush? You know? Meanwhile, she's in her early 30s also, and she's gonna like, yeah, fuck you. Nah, I honestly don't know. It's a case by case basis. I can't like put on her, stuff that fucked me up, So
True.
probably won't do that.
But I